Hello, my beloveds. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. You are listening to Red Sable. This is Feed Your Mind, Fuel Your Soul Radio. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you are well today. It is a beautiful day in the city of New York. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I am in a fairly good mood. It's been a long day, a lot going on, but I am going to push through because I know I'm going to be all right. And so are you. I hope that you were able to enjoy your day, whatever it was that you had to do today. I hope that you didn't fall prey to the negative thoughts, the negative people, negative circumstances and the situations that you are around. And I hope that you embraced some joy and some good news, that you felt comfortable with yourself today. Sometimes we get up and we don't feel our best selves. And that's a lot because of this pandemic and many other things, right? But more now than ever, we have constant struggles going on, and we're constantly questioning ourselves. We're constantly questioning what is going to happen, and when it does, and if it does, what is our role in any given situation that we cannot control. And so I have to remind myself, I can't control it, so I need to let it go. So I hope that you remind yourself that you're not superhuman. And we have to take the burdens that weigh heavy on our shoulders, and we have to kick rocks with those things. We have to push them to the side, kick them underneath some boulder somewhere, and throw them in a river. We have to drown them, so to speak. And I don't mean a river in the actual sense of it being a river, but sometimes we have to drown what's dragging us down and act like it doesn't exist, because when we continue to allow those things to pull at us, they're burdens. They weigh very heavy tolls on our hearts and on our day. And when it does that, it pushes us into certain circumstances and situations that we don't want to be in. We fall prey to getting into arguments with people that we shouldn't be arguing with. We fall prey to getting involved with situations that we normally would not if we were in a better mind space. We wonder why we have become short-tempered with the people that we usually hang out with, and everything is really cool. Now when they call and even we really want to talk to them, instead we're getting into an argument. Instead, we just don't answer the phone. Instead, we're ignoring them, or we're putting up all kinds of barriers and excuses as to why we won't engage. Sometimes we don't realize how much of a heavy load that we are carrying within our hearts and within our spirits, and our spirits are weighed down heavily on these things that's crushing us, and it's corroding our hearts. And when we pretend, and a lot of us do, when we pretend that nothing's going on and we can handle everything all by ourselves, we're making up all kinds of stories and lies and excuses just because we think that it's going to help us to feel better, because we think it's going to help our family members and our friends to feel better, but it's not. What it's doing, it's just perpetuating yet another long day of covering up lies that we tell ourselves in order for us to move forward. because we think we're supposed to be strong all the time. Instead, we're not. We're drowning. And we feel like we're drowning in every sense of the word, literally, figuratively, emotionally, mentally. We're drowning. And it's not because we want to be. It's because we don't know what to do with the pain and confusion, the loss. We don't know what to do with the anger. So we push it all the way down until some little thing pops off. And the next thing you know, we're in a fight with somebody who simply only asked us to excuse them because we're standing in their way and they're just trying to cross the street. They're just trying to get on the train. They're just trying to get on the bus. But we're standing there and we're acting as though we don't know what we're doing. Because when we're in a state of fog, we don't know what we're doing. So we're in somebody else's way and we don't realize that. So instead of us saying, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, and getting out the way, we're getting into a fight. We're arguing them down and cussing them out and calling them all kinds of names. And we know it's wrong. But something inside is screaming. We don't know how to release that. We don't know how to get rid of it. We keep on pulling it back in towards us when really we're supposed to let go and let God. Cast our burdens with Him, to Him, because His burdens are light and His yoke is easy. And by that just means that every single thing that you have that is heavy, that's overbearing, that you can't explain, that you can't take anymore, you go and you sit in a quiet space and you talk to Him. You bow your head and you talk to Him and you cry and you scream and you let all of that out so that you can go on and do what you need to do because He's waiting to hear from you. It is Soul Refueling Sunday on my station. And I want to say I do my best to snatch serenity. But I mean, really, you can't really snatch serenity. But you can hope for it. You can strive for it, right? And you can do your best to make sure that you are centered. You've done your affirmations. You've gotten into your meditation, right? You said your prayers and you make your best effort to make sure serenity is in the space that you are in. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but it doesn't mean that we can't get up every day and look forward to some type of serene moments in our day so that our head space, our mind space is telling our hearts and our spirits to be still. Be still. Because that's what God is saying. Be still. Because we're doing too much. Be still. Because we're talking too much. Be still. Because we are busy too much trying to do everything all on our own. And we cannot. And He knows that. But we don't listen. Not because we're being belligerent or hard-headed or stubborn. Well, maybe some of us are being stubborn. But because some of us are heads of households and we don't know what it's like to just sit and not do nothing. Some of us can't sit still because that's all we know is to get up and go, 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 right? So as you move forward through your day today, I invite you to be still. Be still in the peace wherever it is that you are in, and be still. Let go and let God. Be still and know that He is God. He will be exalted in the nations, and he will be exalted in the earth. And it's not because he doesn't want you to do what he's called you to do, because you were created for purpose, on purpose, with purpose, right? He gave you gifts. He wants you to use them. But he also gave you a day that he told you you're supposed to rest. You're not supposed to run on empty 7 days a week. We're not supposed to do that. He rested one day and created the entire world and the heavens in 6 of those days. So if he can rest on one day, then why can't we? So I invite you to challenge yourself today, even if it's just for a couple of hours. Challenge yourself today. Whatever day you're listening to this show in, challenge yourself to do nothing for 2 hours. And when I say nothing, I mean no picking up your phone, no scrolling, no answering messages, no texting, none of that. No emailing, no going to the social apps and trying to catch up with who's doing whatever. It doesn't matter. 2 hours of just you being with you, getting to know you, loving on you, trusting you. Just you in a room, you and God. That's it. And let the rest of the family know that's what you're going to do. And make that a practice. And it would be great if you could add on some more hours, but start with 2. 2 hours to love on yourself. Trust and believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Because whatever is meant for you to have, it's going to be yours. Because what is for you is for you. It cannot be taken away by anyone. Delays are not denials. They're just delays. Okay? Falls are not failures. It's just a fall. And it's a lesson to be learned in that fall. So you share the treasures that you have captured in the fall, right? You share those gems with somebody else. That is what the falls are about. They're just learning situations and circumstances to make us stronger. And it's the grace that gets us up off the floor to get going again. But you have to make time to love on yourself. Okay? So I invite you to do that today. Trust in yourself and who you want to be and who you are becoming, and know that you're not alone, because you're not. We all have these struggles and these issues. And I want to speak to those of you who think that you're so caught up in the midst of your pain that no one knows this pain but you. You would be surprised how many people you know that same pain. You would be surprised how many people you know that are closest to you that are feeling like they are drowning too. And I hope that you don't let your pride get in the way when you ask someone to help you, because we all need to lean on someone. God says when there are 2 or more, there he will be when we sit and gather in his name, right? So maybe you're not accustomed to remembering all the verses in the Bible that there is to mention, but you can remember let go and let God. You can remember that God wants the best for you, right? So you can remember that no weapons formed against you shall prosper, right? You can remember that. So I invite you to let go of your pain. Share that with somebody that you know. Because if you are drowning and you can't find your way through the mess and the wilderness that you are in, they are too. And they are waiting and hoping that someone comes and asks them for a shoulder or a hand to hold. They want someone to listen to them just like you want somebody to listen to you. But we don't know that because we're all stuck in our own little bubbles, trying not to be, I was going to say trying not to be offended or offensive, I should say. But really, it's not that. We don't want to be weak.